You do this every morning and don't even know what it means. You wake up, you go through your routine, you make choices, tiny, automatic, seemingly meaningless choices, and you think nothing of them. But here's what the research has been quietly saying for decades. Your daily habits are not random. They are a direct readout of how your brain is wired. And right now, without you realizing it, behavioral psychologists could look at the way you ordered your last meal, the way you walked into a room, the way you handled a minor inconvenience this morning, and build a surprisingly accurate picture of your cognitive profile. This isn't astrology. This isn't pseudoscience. This is documented behavioral psychology, and by the end of this video, you will never look at your own routines the same way again. Let's start with something you did, or didn't do, this morning. When you woke up today, did you make your bed? Not because someone told you to, not because guests were coming. Just, did you do it automatically? Or did you walk away and leave the sheets twisted? Most people think this habit is about cleanliness, about discipline, about being the kind of person who has their life together. But psychology proves the opposite. It's not about neatness at all. A study tracking over 700 adults found that people who make their beds consistently scored significantly higher on measures of conscientiousness, a trait that research from the University of Edinburgh links directly to higher cognitive performance throughout life. Conscientiousness isn't just about being tidy. It's the brain's ability to impose structure on chaos. And that exact same cognitive mechanism is what allows highly intelligent people to break complex problems into manageable steps. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not whether you make your bed perfectly. It's whether you do it at all, even imperfectly. The habit signals that your brain defaults toward order creation rather than entropy acceptance. And that distinction, the drive to create small islands of structure in an unpredictable world, shows up consistently in high IQ behavioral profiles. That's just the first 7 minutes of your day. Wait, it gets darker. Think about the last time you were at a restaurant or scrolling a delivery app. What did you do? Did you scan the entire menu, weigh options, maybe ask questions about ingredients? Or did you already know what you wanted before you even opened the menu? Here's the counterintuitive truth that stops most people cold. Defaulting immediately to the usual is not a sign of decisiveness. Research on decision fatigue and cognitive flexibility shows that people with higher fluid intelligence, the kind of raw adaptive thinking that isn't tied to accumulated knowledge, tend to genuinely explore options even in low-stakes environments. Not because they're indecisive, because their brains are running a rapid cost-benefit analysis almost automatically, even when the stakes are just pasta versus pizza. Take someone like Marcus, a 34-year-old project manager who always ordered the same lunch for 3 years. He thought it was efficiency, but when he started paying attention, he realized the habit had bled into everything. He stopped exploring new routes home, stopped encountering friction. His brain had quietly optimized for comfort over stimulation. The research calls this cognitive entrenchment, and it's one of the earliest behavioral signs of declining cognitive flexibility. The reason will shock you. The small act of choosing something unfamiliar on a menu exercises the same neural pathways your brain uses for creative problem solving. High IQ individuals aren't just smarter, they are, on average, more willing to tolerate the mild discomfort of novelty. Even at lunch, you are being read right now. Not your words, not your credentials, your gait. Behavioral psychologists and criminologists have studied walking patterns for decades, and what they've found is genuinely unsettling. The speed at which you walk correlates with processing speed, one of the core components of measured IQ. A landmark study tracking adults over 45 years found that slower walking speed in midlife was associated with lower cognitive test scores, reduced brain volume, and accelerated cognitive aging. People who walked faster, with purposeful directionality, consistently outperformed on fluid intelligence assessments. But it goes deeper than speed. Watch how someone enters a room. Do they scan it first, even briefly, before committing to a direction? That micro-behavior, sometimes lasting less than 2 seconds, is called environmental mapping. It's instinctive in people with high spatial intelligence, the cognitive dimension linked to mathematical ability, engineering thinking, and long-range planning. Most people walk into a room and go, High spatial intelligence individuals walk in and, without knowing they're doing it, process exits, occupied zones, and social clusters in a single glance. You've done this. Think back to the last unfamiliar place you walked into. Did you pause? Did your eyes move before your feet did? That wasn't anxiety. That was your brain doing something sophisticated. Here's one nobody talks about. What do you do when you're waiting, in a line, at a light, in a doctor's office? Do you reach for your phone within seconds? Do you observe the room? Do you let your mind wander? Research from the University of Virginia found that many people would rather give themselves mild electric shocks than sit alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes. But here's the fascinating flip side. Individuals who score higher on measures of openness to experience, another strong intelligence correlate, are significantly more comfortable in unstructured mental space. They use waiting not as dead time, but as processing time. Their brains don't experience the absence of stimulation as discomfort. They experience it as opportunity, the curiosity gap that nobody ever addresses. What your brain does in the gaps between tasks may matter more than what it does during the tasks themselves. The most cognitively powerful periods of insight, what neuroscientists call default mode network activation, happen precisely when you're doing nothing. Highly intelligent people, without any formal training, have often stumbled onto this accidentally. They stare out windows, they let thoughts connect, and when they come back to the problem, they've already solved it. Most people think daydreaming is a waste. Psychology proves the opposite. This is the one that makes people uncomfortable. Think about the last time someone corrected you. In a meeting, in a conversation, online. What happened in your body? A flash of defensiveness? A tightening? Or something else? A flicker of genuine interest? Studies on intellectual humility, the ability to recognize the limits of your own knowledge, consistently show it as one of the strongest behavioral predictors of long-term intellectual growth and measured cognitive performance. Not intelligence itself, the relationship with being wrong. People who respond to correction with curiosity rather than ego protection show dramatically higher rates of learning, adaptation, and what researchers call epistemic flexibility, the capacity to hold multiple conflicting ideas without needing to immediately resolve them. Here's the counterintuitive fact that reframes everything. The smartest people in documented psychology studies were not the ones who were right most often. They were the ones most willing to discover they were wrong. Their identity was not fused to their current beliefs. And that detachment, that psychological spaciousness, is itself a marker of the kind of high-order thinking that standardized tests can only partially capture. The reason will shock you. Defensiveness is cognitively expensive. It burns processing resources on ego protection that could be used for actual thinking. Every time you feel that flash of "I need to defend this," your brain is running a program that actively competes with intelligence. Here is what you actually just learned, and it's bigger than a list of habits. Your daily life is not neutral. Every small choice, the bed, the menu, the walk, the wait, the moment someone challenges you, is your brain revealing its default settings. And default settings can be changed, not through dramatic transformation, but through exactly the kind of small daily micro adjustments that you now know carry cognitive weight. The one thing you can do today, right now, before this video ends, is introduce one moment of deliberate friction into your routine. Order something different. Take a new route. The next time someone corrects you, pause before responding. These aren't self-help cliches. They are, based on the research you've just encountered, literal cognitive exercises that engage the same neural systems measured by intelligence assessments. You weren't watching a video about habits. You were watching a video about who your brain has become and who it's capable of becoming. The people who share this aren't doing it because it's interesting. They're doing it because somewhere in the last 9 minutes, they recognize themselves, and they want the people they care about to have the same chance. There's one more habit we didn't cover, and it may be the most revealing one of all. The way you ended this video will tell you something about yourself that the first 6 habits only hint at. Stay tuned.